Hello and welcome back to AR77. Today we have something just a little bit different to the usual fare. This is the Walther PPQ. It is a CO2 powered air pistol, you might say, but rather than shooting the .177 caliber pellets or the 4.5mm BBs, this particular pistol shoots things that look like that. These are .43 caliber balls. You can get them in rubber. You can get them in steel coated with rubber, I believe. Or you can get paintballs. You can get .43 caliber paintballs, which, if you're paintballing, I guess you could use this pistol. Although I don't paintball myself, so I'm not sure of the regulations in terms of. I don't know whether this would be good enough for paintball. I don't know if it would be resilient enough. I also don't know if there's a power limit for paintball or anything like that. So if you were intending to use this for paintball, just down to my ignorance, it'd be worth checking that out for yourself. I think there are a number of reasons why you might want this pistol. You can put paintballs in it, even if you don't paintball, and use it in the back garden. At which point you'll be able to see where you've hit on the target quite easily. Some people might prefer that to leaving a little hole in paper or whatever. You might want a larger target and set that up and see where you've shot. But I think the key purpose is for pistol training, pistol drills, so on and so forth, for somebody who perhaps through work needs to use a pistol, or somebody in a different country might own a pistol or carry a pistol. This is quite a useful tool for practice, I believe. So it's made by a company, it's made by Umarex ultimately, I think, or released by Umarex, but they are also T4E. So I don't know if T4E is part of Umarex or if it's a separate organisation, separate company working in conjunction with Umarex. But T4E stands for Training for Engagement. So again, that implies that this is a training tool. So it should operate very similar to the actual Walther PPQ and give people a chance to practice sight acquisition, holster draws, things like that. You can get a couple of different versions of this. You can get this in tan, or you can get the body in tan, the frame in tan, and it has a black slide, I think. Also, you can get a version that has the black slide and the grey finish on the frame. But I like the simple black. So, apart from T4E written across there, and the F and the caliber marking there, let me show you that. Caliber .43. Yeah, so apart from that, this is a pretty accurate replica of the Walther PPQ. Now, Umarex also make a Walther PPQ pellet pistol, and that was what I was going to purchase until this caught my eye, for a number of reasons, really, which I'll go through in a second. We'll do a bit of a walk around in a second. But I just thought I'd mention that you can also get this, or a very similar pistol, with the design of the Smith & Wesson M&P M2, which looks really nice. Again, looks really good. Having said that, I've already got the M&P M2 in BB, in the 4.5mm BB version, as you've probably seen if you've watched any of these my other videos. So I thought this would be the one to go for. There's another one that's available that looks a little bit like a Glock, but it's not really a Glock replica. So it was time for a PPQ, and I thought this was the best one to get from a replica point of view. Why then? Why is it different? Well, the pellet pistol is based on the PPQ M1, you might say, the first version of the PPQ. And because of that, the magazine release is here. It's more like, let me try and find something that I can compare it to. Just go into my magical drawer here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we have another Walther here, This is the Walther PPS. This is the 4.5mm BB shooter. And as you can see here, the magazine release is just on there. Yeah. So it's a trigger guard magazine release. And that's also true of a number of HKs and the Walther PPQ, the original PPQ. So with the pellet pistol, you'd have the magazine release here, and that's fine, but because it was inoperable, it's kind of just moulded in here, it didn't really float my boat. I was kind of like, oh, well, that's fine, because it operates differently to the actual firearm, but in a replica, I'd like to get as much realism as I can. Also, for the pellet pistol, it operates in a different way with regards to the slide. This has a blowback slide, as you can see, which locks back there. Talk about that in a bit more depth because we'll go into a bit of a walk around of it shortly. But that's a full single piece slide that blows back. Let's bring another Walther out here. It's Walther Day today. AR-77. This is the Walther CP88 pellet pistol, a very good pellet pistol. But you can see that the way this operates is you press that catch down and the slide moves forward. So that would be your takedown lever in reality. But the way it operates here is it releases the slide and the slide goes forward. You get your cylinder, your pellet cylinder, drop it in there, close that back up, and you're good to go. That's the CP88. That's how that works. That's how the CP99 works also, pellet pistol, and a couple of the other Umarex pellet pistols as well, the Beretta 92FS and the Colt 1911, which looks like a really nice gun actually. It operates the same way. But again, it's not just as accurate in terms of realism as having that blowback there. So that was a couple of the things that made me think, oh, I'd perhaps prefer this. Other things, well, the markings on the original PPQ pellet pistol, it says, I think it says P99Q. See here on the grey where it says PPQ. I think on the pellet one it says P99Q. I think here again on the slide where we can see a nice clear PPQ there, it says P99Q on the pellet pistol, which I guess makes sense because I think, if I'm correct, which isn't always the case, but I think the PPQ is basically a derivative of the P99. I believe it's a kind of a further stage in its development to some extent. What else? Obviously, the pellet pistol is going to be just like the CP88. It's going to be a non-blowback because it's shooting pellets from a rotary magazine, if you will. What else? I made a list. Yeah, the slide catch release here. So on the here, slide catch release. So when that blows back after the last shot, that will stay in that rear position, and it's ambidextrous, so it's there on both sides. On the PPQ, the pellet pistol, I believe they've kind of replaced that ambidextrous slide catch release with a safety. So your safety kind of is there. Whereas I believe on the actual pistol itself, other than trigger safety, I don't think there'd be a safety. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody who's actually got a PPQ. I really like the look of this gun. I really like the shaping of it, the ergonomics. Yeah, but there's a few of the reasons why I kind of opted for this one as a branch out away from .177 or 4.5mm. I just wanted to, I'm a replica fan at the end of the day, and I think this seemed like a closer replica of the PPQ M2, actually. So this is a replica of the M2, the second version of the PPQ, The pellet pistol is a replica of the first version of the PPQ, hence the magazine release here. I think the only difference in reality between the PPQ and the PPQ M2 is the fact that Walther chose to move the trigger guard mag release and make it a more traditional button release for the mag. And with that in mind, that's a fully functioning switch, a button. So there you go, a few differences there, and the reason why I chose this one over the other one. So now we are 10 minutes into the video already. Let's have a bit of a walk around and a look at the Umarex T4E Walther PPQ .43 caliber pistol. We have a metal slide here and a polymer frame. Everything's very nice. Slide catch release, as I've shown you already, works. We've got some lovely Walther markings at the front here, and you've got that nice grip, those slide serrations, if you will, at the front there. Help you rack the slide. We've got the PPQ there. Also some nice serrations at the back there. We have the trigger guard here with a bit of a grip at the front, and you do have that split trigger there with your trigger safety. That is your safety with this pistol. So let's see if that's a working safety, shall we? Let's try and pull that trigger. No, it's not happening unless I have my hand on that trigger safety as well, and it will release at that point. Yeah. Ergonomics wise, as I said before, it feels excellent. This grip is one of the most comfortable grips. I really like the grip on the what's it called now? The PX4 Storm, the Beretta PX4 Storm. I really like the grip on that, but this, it just feels like, I'll tell you what it feels like. And I don't know if this is how they make them or not, but it feels like you had a big ball of Play-Doh or plasticine or something like that, and you just squeezed it, and then you took your hand off it, and what was left was that shape. that's how good it feels. That's how ergonomic it is. So that's really good, really nice. I guess the real pistol is exactly the same, so I can see the benefit in that. Let's have a look at the other side. So as I said before, you've got these markings here, T4E. It's white, but it's fairly unintrusive. Even, in comparison, I believe the pellet pistol has a lot of writing on it in white. So even though you don't have that, it's not going to be a cutout ejection port, and you've also got a lot more white writing in terms of safety and warnings and things like that. So, the pellet pistol might be for you. I can't promise that I won't buy one at some point in the future anyway. But yeah, I do think this is the right way to go. Obviously, I think it's called your ejector, is it? I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's moulded in to this metal slide. Pretty standard fare on that side. As I said, you've got your ambidextrous slide catch release there. I believe on the real firearm, your mag release is ambidextrous as well, and you can just decide which side you want it to present from. But on this one, it's just on the left. Yeah, top of it, nice. I really like these sights. These are kind of yellow. Well, I mean, to you on this camera, they perhaps look yellow, but in reality, they are kind of an orange, almost like a day glow orange, though, which might be why they're shining like that. So really good, really easy for sight acquisition. Underneath, again, the Walther markings continue. Walther PPQ and then T4E tastefully done there in that base plate. A really nice pistol, really nice pistol. It's got a really good weight to it. It feels solid, but it also feels quite, what's the word now? I don't know. It feels quite, it doesn't feel like an enormous pistol. I've seen it compared to the Glock 19, which I would have considered was a small pistol, really. But I guess, I don't know. I guess it's that striker fire shape and everything. I guess this was made in competition with the Glocks and those sorts of pistols, the HK, VP, is it VP9 Volks pistol. Yeah, so you've got a nice deep recessed barrel there, which is, you know, 0.43 caliber opening. So in terms of replica, that looks tremendous to me. You know, you get so used to seeing, there's the other Walther here, you get so used to seeing a bit of a recess. At the end of that, that's filthy. What am I doing? Showing you that, look. So, yeah, you get that recess, and then you get your narrow gauge kind of barrel in there again there on the CP99. Love that pistol though. Never get tired of that. So it's nice to see that full size opening, really, or almost full size. I guess it's a 9mm, I guess, in reality. But that's almost like 45 caliber, isn't it? 0.43. So yeah, there you go. Really nice markings. I showed you the working trigger safety there. Let's have a look at the magazine then. So that's your magazine. Pretty standard. I mean, it's not. Your CO2 goes in there, and you can see it at the back. So that's no problem. You've got your seal there, so you can see your CO2 from the back. You load it in from the top. This just slides down here. Anybody who's ever used a 4.5mm BB shooter will, you know, kind of recognise this. It's standard fare. It's just that the size of the caliber that's different, really. So yeah, you follow it there. And in terms of putting that CO2 in and gassing it, you just slide that forward. So very similar to the Smith & Wesson M&P M2. Pause there for a second. Someone knocking at the door. Somebody ringing the bell. Somebody at the door. Somebody always comes to the door when I'm trying to make one of these videos. I need to get myself kitted out with the proper studio, I guess. Yeah, right. So yeah, you're very similar to the Smith & Wesson M&P M2. So that slides forward, and you've got your Allen key hole there, just to tighten your CO2 up there. This piece actually does come all the way off, because with the pistol it's supplied with a kind of a cleaning piece of rubber, like what would you call it? Like almost a rod, really, but it's soft. I've never used one, seen one before, so please feel free to let me know what they're called. But yeah, it's almost like a cleaning rod, but it's soft, it's rubber, and I think that's to clean the barrel if you're using paintballs in there also. And this bit comes right off, and you can access the spring housing, and it does come with a separate spring, so that you can switch between, if you're using paintballs or rubber balls or whatever else, you might put the stronger spring in, I guess. But that stronger spring might damage the paintballs, I guess. I guess that's the reason. So yeah, you can see in there, that's where your mag goes, obviously. And if you just pop that bit off there, you've got your Allen key there. So that's really useful. I think that's a nice touch. So it's all self-contained. You know, that's there's your Allen key for that, and it's just nice to have everything in one place, really. What else was I going to show you? Oh, yeah, bear with me. Another thing you can get is these things. Now that's a magazine. It's got CO2 in it. It's not pierced, but you load the CO2 in a different way. You ammunition goes in the top there, just like the other one. But this one screws up from the bottom like that. Far more like you would see on the CP88 and other pellet pistols. And different air pistols load the CO2 in different ways, but a lot of them have this screw that you tighten, and then there's a final stage to twist or twist usually, or close something that seals it and pierces the CO2, like in the PX4 Storm. You have that final twist on the CP88. Once you've done the twisting inside there, you close that up. For this one, once it's tight, you just give it a hammer on the bottom there. See where it says push? And then that will quickly pierce your CO2, so you can leave your CO2 in there, I guess, unpierced. And then when you're ready to go out and do a bit of shooting or have a game of paintball or whatever, I guess, you just hit that bottom piece there and you're good to go. That's really useful if you just want to grab the pistol and get straight into the fun. So there you go. I got a couple of these ones, and because I could, I got one of those as well. So you do end up throwing your money at these things, don't you? I can't see whether. Sorry, I'm looking around the camera, so I can't line things up. That's quite a nice, satisfying. It does when it gets there. It kind of stops there, so you do need to give it a proper push into place, which feels good. That's nice anyway. It feels nice and sturdy. There's no, you can hear a bit of movement there, obviously in the slide, but it's not a rattly pistol. It feels very solid. It feels really nice to cock and shoot, and it will look back after that last bullet. After that last shot, you won't be able to find bullets out of this thing. So single action really only. Once it's cocked, you can shoot, and there's a bit of, it kind of travels to there, and then it's a bit spongy after that. You can feel like almost like you're trying to get over a hill with it. It's a bit spongy, and then it goes. Let's try that again. So it gets to there, and there's no clear wall. I wouldn't say. You kind of, there's nothing doing until you get to about there, and then there's a bit more pressure required, and then you just squeeze until it goes. So there you go. It's nice though. Feels nice. It's not too heavy. It's a really nice looking pistol. A really nice addition to the family, if you will. So there you go. That is the Walther PPQ in .43 caliber. A really nice pistol, a really good replica. Again, I'm sure the pellet pistol is lovely. I do like the look of the pellet pistol, but that's based on the PPQ M1. This is based on the PPQ M2, and because it doesn't shoot pellets, you've got the added kind of replica bonuses of things like the blowback and the slide catch release and all of that working properly. Also, because it's the M2, you've got your mag release there in perhaps more an intuitive place for most of us. There you go. I don't know about the power. Cost wise, I think you could pick these up for quite cheap. I think about 120, 130 quid. That might be a lie. It might be more like 150 depending where you buy it from, but you might get a deal. You never know. And obviously you'll need to pick up some ammunition if you want to get some. I think .43 caliber paintballs are pretty easy to get hold of, so you can get yourself plenty of those for not a great deal of money, and have a bit of fun in the garden. Or if you're into paintball, I don't know, is this any good for paintball? Feel free to let me know. Thanks once again. I'll see you next time. All the best. This is AR77. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Stay safe. All the best. Bye.